Hey, I hope you're keeping well. In this week's video, we're looking at externals in architecture photography. Now, this can be applied to loads of externals, and I've done some pretty interesting ones over the years. We're still in Italy at this point on my trip. We're in northern Italy, as we were in last week's video as well. And then this week, we're shooting the external of, they call it a palace, but it looks more like a residential building to me. But let's go over to the north of Italy. There's a bit of a rushed video to pull together on location. I actually got moved on from photographing and filming there in particular, so I hope it's all come together quite well. Here's the video, enjoy. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is James Kerwin, and this is me. I'm an architecture and interior photographer from the UK, and I love shooting abandoned places, relics, ruins, hidden gems and ghost towns, as well as off the beaten path locations all around the world. I'm posting new videos every Sunday, so why don't you join me for the ride by subscribing. You can also check out my website in the description below. Hello everyone, welcome to Torino. We're still in the north of Italy, and this time we're looking at exterior photography in architecture. We're going to be using a tilt shift lens to photograph this building here behind me. It's going to be a cracker. It's going to take some post-processing to fix it, a little bit of creative thinking and visualizing of the overall finished result, but it's going to be great. Let's crack on. So architecture photography done right can be fantastic. I had one image of mine from Beirut. It's very similar to this, but much more decay, that featured in Architecture Photographer of the Year for 2021. And I think it's because it's hard to pull off. Like, the actual images are difficult to pull off and difficult to, visualize overall. And the thing is, with most exterior images like the one that I'm going to be doing here, is there's usually external distractions in the way. I mean, you think this is a challenge photographing it, try videoing. People are watching everywhere. People are just thinking, what am I doing? What is he doing? Photographing it can be just as tricky if it's the first time you've ever done this kind of stuff. I thought it was a great time now to talk all about the exteriors. I know by looking at that building there, I want a shot of the face of it. I've done it before in Beirut. There's an image you may recognize of mine. I'll pop it on the screen now. And I want to do a similar thing here. The thing is, with photographing exteriors like this and doing it in this way, there's always external factors that we need to bear in mind. There's roadworks, there's a cafe, there's people sitting, there's posts, there's cars. Luckily, the main shot, the face, is off the ground above the shop level, which is really cool because that means that we can lift into a highest possible position our shot, and we can then crop that down if we need to, make the ratio of the image that we want. So our final end result will be exactly what we visualized, which will be essentially just a crop section above the shops, which is perfect for what I'm looking to do today. Ideally, when you're photographing stuff like this, you want to be facing, obviously, dead opposite it, in the middle of the building. That goes without saying. You don't want to be shooting this building either with converging lines. We don't want the tripod or the camera to be actually facing upwards in this position here. Of course, we don't want to be doing that. We want to make sure it's actually angled downwards. We want to make sure that it's actually lifted up. So how are we going to reach it? Well, we're going to use the 24mm tilt shift lens that I've got here. It's going to give us a little bit more compression than the 17. Ideally, we'd have 35mm. I don't actually own one, but you could use a 24 with an adapter, or you could use a 35mm tilt shift if you own such a thing. From this distance, it would be perfect. However, the resolution of my R5, 43 megapixels, the crop of that is going to be absolutely perfect. One of the main advantages is we're on this mound, we're on a hill here, which raises us up a bit and means we're not in the dip that's behind the camera position there. The next thing we're going to need to do is get all of this camera as high as possible. We seem to be doing that a lot in this tutorial, but we need to get this up, right up here, so that we can actually visualize the face of the building. We want as much height as possible. Okay, so there's two things that I'm going to install onto the lens actually to help me, assist me in getting photo of this building. And one is a lens hood here, and the other one is a polarizer filter. So this filter is just going to help us eliminate any glare or cut through some of the glare on some of the balcony glass. And it's also going to help with the sun as well, in the position it's in. The lens hood that I've got here, that's going to help me get rid of unwanted flare from the side, the sun coming into the side of the lens. So let's install both of those. And before I install the lens hood, I'm going to position the polarizer filter in camera. I've done that, and then I'll install this, and that's because it's difficult to move the polarizer once this is on. Okay, so both are installed on the camera. We've got the lens hood and the polarizer filter on the front. The next thing is we've brought our camera up to the highest possible position. Okay, so can we get higher? Yes, we can. If I go further forwards, it's going to give me more height on the building, but it's also going to give me more height on the mound that I'm standing on. So I think there's a balance though, because if I go too far forward, what's going to happen is I'm going to start to stretch the top of the building with the tilt shift, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to go forward a little bit. I'm going to shuffle forward about 1 meter, just where the ground levels out just here. Okay, so maintaining our height, that is our height straight out of camera where our tripod position is fixed. Obviously that's nowhere near enough. When we lift the tilt shift lens up to 24mm, what we want to be doing is we want to get in the bottom of the image to the top of the shot essentially. So all of the bottom distractions are completely eliminated. Of course here you're seeing like a slightly cropped version in video, but in my version, of course, on camera, you're going to have the top and the bottom of this now selected in. If I go any further back, unfortunately, it's going to make this filming difficult. But you get the idea. What I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to frame the center of this image exactly as you see it. Okay, so what's next? Looking at it, not a lot. I've shifted the lens up, so I've unlocked it one side, shifted it on the other. I've positioned myself so we've got a little bit of crop at the bottom of the image and a little bit at the top to do, but it's pretty square in the center. The most important thing is it is facing the center of the camera, the face of the building, without too much stretching and things that need realigning in post-processing. Because of the sun, I've decided to now activate my in-camera bracketing. I'm going to go for all 5. I've focused straight on the face of the building, f8, ISO 100, and I'm going to shoot that, and I think it's fine. I've captured 5 brackets, which is overkill. We're going to look at them all. We can choose between them. It'll give us lots to play with in post. It means we'll be able to see into the balconies. It means we'll be able to see behind, in the dark spaces, in the shadows. I think that's ideal. I've captured 5 brackets, which is overkill. We're going to look at them all. We can choose between them. It'll give us lots to play with in post. It means we'll be able to see into the balconies. It means we'll be able to see behind, in the dark spaces, in the shadows. I think that's ideal. If you want to support this channel, you can do so by purchasing one of the books listed in the description below. I hope you enjoyed that video then. Like I said, it was a difficult challenge. I hope you enjoyed the final result. Please leave any comments if you got them below. It'd be interesting to see what you say about it. I quite enjoyed this one. Okay, so I've got a few more videos coming up from this Italy series. First of all, we're going to be looking at multiple exposures in a palace. We're going to be looking as well at tilt shift photography once again at the same palace. It's like a bonus video really. We're also going to be looking at ceilings, photographing ceilings. We've never done that really on this channel. We've done like trying to incorporate the ceiling, but not directly shooting the ceiling. So hopefully that one comes out really nice as well. If you've got any comments, leave them below as usual. And of course, subscribe and you'll be alerted when I upload my video, which is next Sunday, same time, 5 PM UK. I'll see you all then. Bye-bye for now.